Mr. Birdie and members of the board, we do have several items for board discussion this evening. Our first item is a book study, and inside your folder, you should find a document that includes details about our upcoming book study. As a group, we will be reading Dare to Lead by Brené Brown, and our first discussion will be at the December 12th work session. We will be having discussion that evening about pages 1 through 69. So that gives you plenty of time to read those pages. At our meeting, we'll share based on the following prompts, and you can find these prompts on the back of that handout. I tried to keep them simple based on the feedback and discussion that we had a meeting or so ago, and that is, I read, I noticed, and I wondered. And certainly we will just see where that conversation takes us. We will also be doing this book study with our administrators across the district as well, and we're all looking forward to those discussions. Any questions or comments?
Does this timeline follow a similar timeline to the administrators?
It does, the best I could. I tried to align them as much as possible. So for the administrators, we do not have a monthly administrator meeting in December, so November 19th, they'll be having those discussions on those pages 1 through 69. Looks like the board will be discussing March 5th, administrators on March 17th, and then administrators will finish up on May 12th, and the board will finish up on June 4th.
That's great, though, that they're kind of aligned.
Try to make them
Yeah.
aligned as much as possible. And I want to give a thank you to Mandy Aug, who has previously participated in this book study. And so she provided me with some helpful hints and details and timelines and whatnot. And then with her efforts and feedback from the board, this is where we are.
Any comments from the board? My only comment would be this, for those of you who do not know, that this is part of the board goals that we set for ourselves, that we were going to have a book study, and we asked Mr. Smith to sort of organize it. So thank you very much for doing that.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Our next item for board discussion, job descriptions, and I'll turn it over to Mr. Penny.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. This evening, I have 3 job descriptions on the agenda for discussion. These are in the area of food service, and they include for food service assistant, cook, and head cook. I will begin with the food service assistant position. The primary updates for this description are background check language, which you'll see through all 3 of these, report to language, the addition of education requirements, and then general updates to functions and qualifications within the job description. I will next move on to the cook job description. Primary updates for the cook job description are background check language, and report to language. The cook job description's actually been updated more recently. And I will conclude with the primary updates for the head cook position. These are background check language again, report to language, and then the revision of years of experience qualification from 2 years to 1 year. And with recognition now given to outside related institutional and commercial food service or food managerial experience and higher education. This then aims to enlarge our candidate pool. Within food service, we are doing our best to get high-quality candidates, and it's an area that we're really focusing on trying to get more people into the mix because we really need them within our schools. And there are also many general updates that align with the responsibilities of the head cook position that are within this job description regarding updates. Are there any questions regarding these job descriptions that I can assist you with this evening?
Any questions for Mr. Penny?
I don't have anything specific, but to your point, it looks like you've almost completely rewritten the head cook job description.
Yes, there's been many things adjusted within that, and our HR department's done an excellent job, as well as our director of food service, in getting all those pieces together.
Great.
Thank you, Mr. Penny.
Welcome, sir.
All right, our last item for board discussion is the addition of show choir to the PE waiver. I'll turn it over to Mandy Ogg.
Thank you, Mr. Smith, Mr. Boarding, members of the board. I wanted to take this opportunity to update you on our intent to include show choir as part of our PE waiver. As you may be aware, ODE allows school districts to decide whether or not they will include marching band, junior ROTC as part of a PE waiver. And they just recently announced that districts will have the opportunity to include show choir in that waiver as well. And I wanted to update you on what that timeline would look like for us and our students. So the policy will take effect in mid-October, and at that point, districts will be allowed to begin to work on their policy to include show choir as part of the PE waiver. Districts are not allowed to grant credit retroactively, so the policy won't be allowed to go into effect until the 2021 school year. But we do intend to start that work in our department so that students will know when they go to schedule this year that they will be allowed to count show choir moving forward as part of the PE waiver. And they'll have to participate in that for 2 consecutive years to get that credit, which is similar to other programs that fall under the waiver as well. So that's all I have. I just thought you would want an update on that timeline. So, any questions?
Questions or comments?
I do just have a question. So if you were a junior, like, so it would really take effect for like sophomores, because they would have to be like, since it's not retroactive, it'd be sophomore, junior, okay. Great.
Yeah, so that's, I mean, we really don't want kids to get so excited in their juniors.
No, but I mean,
But
it's,
it will take
yeah,
effect.
yes,
next
that's
year.
great.
You're right.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? I know this has been something that local school boards have been asking our state government to allow us to do for quite some time, because these kids are out there more active than many of our sports teams are. And so thank you to whatever state representative decided to add this to the legislature. And looking forward to seeing what your division comes up with. So thank you so much for that. Okay.